Are you going to bring me in?
Oh, you want me to do the wrestling thing again?
I thought you were going to. That's part of the stick now.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ken Mars.
My name's Kent, not Ken, but that's okay.
I said Kent.
I've been called worse this morning.
I'm going to call you something in a minute.
You call me something in a minute, that'll be fine as long as you're calling me to supper. You can call me about anything you want. You can call me in a minute, something in a minute.
What?
Just don't call me. Just don't call me late for supper. That's exactly right. See my new setup?
I got the new microphone thing.
And he's really making use of it. Tyler just walked in. Come here, Tyler.
Go in there, Tyler.
Tyler, how you doing?
I'm good. Try talking to the microphone.
I'm good. My name is Tyler. My name is Tyler.
It looks like you're going to talk about stars again.
We call him either Grape Ape or Sasquatch.
Or Sasquatch.
Grape Ape.
Depending on
How much you shaved.
Yeah.
Like you're Sasquatch now. You're not Grape Ape. So anyway, we're going to be doing Focus on Astrophotography, which is precedes Tyler's Focus on Astrophotography. You're doing that today, right?
Yep.
Okay. So
we're going to have a lot of special guests.
Yes. So off he goes into the darkness of the studio. So we're going to be talking about the Exos 2 GT with PMC8. I am going to sneeze. I know, not supposed to hold it back, but I did. So anyway, I'm afraid if I sneeze, I'll blow out Paul's ears. In fact, I think I'll sneeze again and blow out Paul's ears. Here it comes.
Why do you always do this when we go on?
I don't know why.
Like all day long, and then all of a sudden you're like,
I know. It's like my body reacts to being close to you or something. I don't know. It's really weird.
I do
the
have
bright
that
lights
effect on people.
I don't know. It's like I go into sneezing fits, and maybe I need to start taking an extra dose of allergy medicine a couple hours before the show instead of once a day. So anyway, we're going to be talking about astrophotography, specifically the Exos 2 GT with PMC8 Go-To mount. This is a very robust, well-built mount that is a little bit improved on its design.
What?
But how we improved on it was we took the old DC drive motors out and put in digital stepper motors that gives us a great ability to control.
So when did this generation come out?
I think the PMC8's been around for 6 years now.
So it's been a while since we've refitted it.
Since we came out with it. It's proven robust system.
Yeah.
We didn't do any astronomy or anything with it, but we had this mount, specifically this mount, in the showroom, and had our biggest telescope on it and an additional counterweights hung all over it. I think it came in at 85 pounds, 80 or 85 pounds.
It is not suggested that you should try that with your product.
Well, you can try it. I mean,
but it won't be. You might void the warranty.
No, I don't know how much weight you put on your tripod. You probably won't get good astrophotography with it at that poundage. But if you manage your weight correctly and do all those things and
I'm
balance,
eating berries every morning,
you might be able to pull it off. Give it a try and see.
I'm trying to balance my weight. We had pizza for lunch, though.
Yeah, we did. We had because we got 4 or 5 inches of snow on the ground this morning.
I forgot to call that up.
So they had called in. It's still snowing here. Yeah, it's going to snow for looks like probably another hour or two. So Paul's going to give you a shot of the beautiful interstate with trucks and cars every which way, all akimbo. So back here in the corner, you can't really see it. It's back right over there. The iXOS 100. We got a customer who runs in excess of 20 pounds on it. We rate it for 9 pounds for astrophotography. He's running above 20 pounds. The Exos 2 GT.
They moved the camera.
What do you mean they moved it?
They moved the camera. The camera's facing a different direction. Huh. The highway camera?
Oh, I'm sure they can change it and focus it and zoom in if they need to.
It's pointed downtown now. Weird.
Huh. That's weird. Anyway, this mount's rated for 28 pounds for astrophotography, and that means 28 pounds of astronomy gear, telescope, cameras, all that stuff. It does not include the counterweights. For visual, we rate this up to 40 pounds. So, 48. 48? 48.
508.
40. Anyway, so we've got it set up today with the Essential Series ED 102, a triplet, airspace triplet, great telescope for doing astrophotography because it's apochromatic.
So the
It
roads
doesn't
aren't
have-
actually all that bad.
Yeah, the roads have cleared off since
See there?
this morning when there was.
There's a car right there on the wall.
Is that here?
Yeah.
Where's that at?
That's. See the Springdale Hotel there. Where is this going? Our shop is just over top of that 100K sign.
How about that? So that's where we are.
The Burton's Pools and Spas. It's right there on the right.
Oh, so it's a camera at the old way station looking south.
Yeah.
From the old way station. Mm-hmm.
The other camera is not. It's
Just looking down 412.
Yeah.
So-
So bring it up here, and
Isn't technology grand? We can look at the traffic and
yeah,
know what
see?
the roads look like before we go on the interstate.
I
This
don't
is
know why it's
I-49.
pointing it that way.
Must be wind blowing because it's bouncing a little bit. They got it really
Yeah.
zoomed. That's a really zoomed in shot too.
I don't know why they're doing that.
Anyway, all right, so we're talking about astrophotography. This is a great beginner's rig for astrophotography. If you've done a little bit and want to move up to a bigger mount, a little bit bigger telescope, I always recommend starting with something like an ED80 or a 102. This gives you lots of future proofing, if you will. When you go up to a 127 Essential Series or FCD 100 glass, and the Exos 2 GT will be still able to handle all that stuff along with your cameras and everything else. So this telescope comes with a polar finder scope built in, and it's back here in the back, and it's in the polar axis, which is right here. And it doesn't have an illuminator, but you couldn't see through it anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. You unscrew this port right here, and very simply unlock the deck head, which is the top head, and you can, where's the handle at? There it is. Unlock it, turn it this way, and voila, the port opens up right in there. And now you can see through the polar finder scope, and there's a process to go through that don't need to talk about. It's in the directions. I may do a show about it one day just to show you. And then simply, once it's polar aligned, move it back. And again, that'll give you a good close, but not a perfect polar alignment. For a perfect polar alignment, you want to always use the drift method, which you can do with your camera or with your eyeball, depending on a couple of different things. There's also some programs that run the interface with the mount computer system, the so-called silver box, and this is where the brains of the operation are. Get this pulled out here. The brains of the operation are right here, and I'm just going to set it up here on the table and let you watch the pretty flashing lights. On the back, they give us all sorts of information about how the mount is working, right? So
Definitely can't see them.
can't see them at all in either shot.
Well, they're just low.
There we go. Oh, there's a pull that out of the way so the
Okay, we got a little
power
lighter.
supply is not in the way. There we go. So there they are.
Trying to get the levels
So
matched
anyway.
between the two of us.
So I've got the power supply turned on. We've got it polar aligned. I've looked through the telescope.
David Simard says, what's good for us today, Ken?
What's good for us today? Pizza was good for lunch
Pizza.
today. Pizza is good on a snowy day.
I'm
The
thinking
bosses-
adult beverages later.
The bosses are always great to get us pizza on snow days for everybody who comes into work or otherwise feed us. We truly appreciate that. So, what's new today? We're looking at the Essential Series 102 millimeter air-spaced triplet telescope. The Essential Series means it's built with FCD 1 glass, which is from a Hoya brand. And the little bit better telescope is the FCD 100 glass. It's more expensive glass. It has better transmission in the far red and infrared onto your camera sensor. So we also have it equipped with the straight through 8x50 non-illuminated finder scope. You can't easily convert this scope into a guide scope. You have to have a telescope or a small scope that's built specifically for that. There have been some people who have done it, printed their own 3D adapters and figured out how to get it in focus. You can do that. 3D printing allows a lot of flexibility. And this telescope now comes with the hybrid 2-in-1 finder foot. Let me see if I can turn this and get it on screen. There we go, right there. This right here is the 2-in-1 hybrid finder base, which will accept either the Explorer Scientific / Meade T-shaped finder foot, or the Cinta Celestron Orion Mini Dovetail will fit on here as well. I can take this one off. I think it'll come off. There we go. And right here is where the dovetail part is. And then, as you can see, there's our foot right there. Get my hand out of the way. There's our T-bottom foot. It just slides on. So either one of these finder scopes, if you have a finder scope already, you can simply put it on here. If you have a guide scope with either one of those feet, you can put it on here with no trouble at all as well. So it allows you to be flexible in what you have. So now, real simple, there's two ways we could do this. I could take this camera and mount it with a 1/4 to 20 screw right here in the bottom where it always, the mounts on the tripod. The top handle is slotted for 1/4 to 20, and we could literally mount this camera right here and piggyback on, and we could have a camera on the big scope taking pictures, and we could have a DSLR up here taking pictures as well. So real simple to attach this camera.
And a 300mm lens on your camera is about an ED80.
Roughly an ED80, right?
Yeah.
So
the math doesn't translate straight across. So, but I do know.
He's experimented.
Kent and I have argued about this many times.
And
it is the 300mm all the way out at 300 is about an ED80.
An ED80 is 480 millimeters. So, there's camera sensor things and spacing and all sorts of stuff. So
it's just a different way of looking at it. The math is different.
The math is different. I have an adapter. This is an 1.25" adapter I happen to grab. I should have grabbed the 2-inch adapter, so that way you get all the light from the light cone that comes out of the camera onto your sensor.
There's a 2-inch in there somewhere.
So I'm just going to this has thread on it, and it's called a T2 thread. And I'm simply going to screw on my Canon thin T-ring, and now it has, just like the end of your lens as a bayonet mount, we simply match up the red dot to the red dot, and now my camera is going to very easily.
You want to try to do that a little bit more delicately, because if you get dirt on the sensor, you can't just clean it or hit it with compressed air. If you hit that sensor with compressed air, you could kill a pixel.
Just blow on it.
No, don't blow on it either. Your breath
don't blow on it.
Your
Spittle.
breath has
Spittle.
lots of
spittle.
It's not called, no, not even the spittle. Worse than that. It's the, I can't think. Oh my gosh.
Lung biscuits?
Humidity. The humidity of your breath.
Sure.
It'll fog on that sensor and it could ruin it. So you definitely want to get the correct sensor cleaning kit if you think your sensor is dirty. So try to point it down, not up like Kent did. You want to point it down whenever you're changing stuff to keep the lint and everything from falling into it.
Yeah. So anyway, since this is a camera we don't use, it doesn't matter.
I know.
So
but I take my
this
cameras.
Is effectively a prop camera now.
Yeah.
So
I take my cameras as seriously as you take your telescope.
I was going to say, good practices, whether it's clean the telescope, treat the telescope right. It's all the same thing. Cameras, they're all expensive pieces of kit.
Yeah.
And you need to take care of it. So as you can see, I simply put it in here where you would insert an eyepiece. Real simple to do. And I'll do it again. Unscrew the tension collar knobs, and it simply slides in.
Mike Overacker. He says focal length is focal length. The 300 millimeters on a camera lens is 300 millimeters in a telescope, and we found that not to be true. Our Kent and I went round and round about this.
And square too. What can I say?
And I take the picture in a ED80, and then I take a picture through the 300 millimeter, and they're almost identical. And I had to prove it to him.
So here's the camera. It simply slides in just like that. It was hard to come out because there's a thing on it that says photo department, so we know where it goes. so it doesn't just disappear. And now, once you get your target centered into your image, you can very simply rotate the camera a little bit to match up to however you want to frame it and tighten it down. You also have the ability to screw in filters on here, so you don't have to have a filter wheel or anything else. You can start doing this by simply screwing filters in, and you can do H-alpha, triple ionized oxygen, double ionized sulfur, which becomes red, blue, and green, or actually it would be green, red, and blue, I think. So you can then create a 3 image or RGB image and take pictures. So I've got on the Exos 100, on the Exos 2 GT. Let the swing back here.
This is the ED102 Essential Series.
This is the Essential Series, air-spaced triplet achromatic telescope.
Wanted to make sure I got the right one for the graphic.
Yep, you did. Well, you did a while ago, unless you changed it
No,
recently.
that was the GT.
So I've got this hooked up here on the mount. Put that cap back on. Now, we have not said and did not build the app Explore Stars for use for astrophotography, but there's many people that do it and get started that way, and you know they make it work, and that's okay. So I'm going to literally go to my Wi-Fi, click PMC-8-C7, and this is one of the ones in the showroom, and the password, because it's going to ask for a password. The password is very simply PMC8, just like it's written right there with a dash. And so I'm hooked
Mike
up.
Overracker says you're talking in angular field of view, not focal length.
Thank you, Mike.
I don't understand that. Can you explain that?
We're going to tap Explore Stars.
I take that as a no.
Angular field of view is independent of focal length. It's what does the field of view look like through that individual telescope. That's math. It's beyond me, and you know I don't ever deal with pixel size and ratios because it's not my cup of tea.
The question I have is, why was the object we were photographing the exact same size?
Because they had what Mike just said.
I don't understand.
Well, we'll go offline and you can talk to Mike because I have his phone number. And we can hook you up with Mike.
I can look it up real quick. We can all have a lesson.
I'm here. I'm going to... It's really weird. It will not ever let me move the virtual joystick until I turn it around here and move it. Yep, I heard it move. So I'm simply going to hit menu. If I want to do a 3-star alignment, I would, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna work hard and get a good polar alignment. So with a good polar alignment, we could go to the sun right now with a good sun safe filter on the end, and boom, off we go.
Got a pulse.
And it's probably going to hit my cardboard table. So I'm going to be prepared.
Ken.
Yeah, it's not okay.
It's not going to hurt the motor.
No, but I don't want to
hurt the telescope.
No, I won't hurt the telescope either.
Then why are you worried about it?
Because I don't want it to strike. You should always not let it strike. It's just like, why are you worried about dust when I open half a second? Same thing. It's just good practice to not let the telescope strike anything. However, if it does, here's the cool part. If it does, you're going to hear this terrible sound like this.
You got it.
Okay, what that was the micro stepper motor, and the magnets have a torque setting on them. And when the torque limit is exceeded, the magnets just let go and they keep trying and trying. Our motor counts are now off, right? And so our go-to is bad. Did it hurt anything? No. Did people in the old days, you hear that with gear drives and you hear that in gear drives? Yes, that's a really bad sound because it's gears chewing themselves to pieces. So I'm going to go back to my tablet and I'm going to park the telescope, and you're going to see that it is not going to stop at the same spot because the motor counts are off. It kept counting steps, but the telescope wasn't moving, therefore it won't go back to the same spot. And if that happens, it's a very simple thing to simply let the telescope go back to its park position. And you can hear that sound. It's vibrations of the motor and the housing.
Yeah, we can hear it.
You can hear the pitch change when I squeeze it. It's the vibration. It's also a little bit of sound from the circuit board, some other stuff. And so it's going to go back, and it is almost the same position. But as you can tell, for me, I can tell it's a little bit too far to the right, which would be east of north. So instead of unlocking the axis and moving it, I'm going to use the tablet, and I'm going to move it at a speed of, let's say, 8, and that's deck, so that's up and down. And I'm going to return it electronically to the home position, just like that. And that's how you fix it when you have missed your motor count. So we're going to get on Amazon Live here in a couple of minutes, start at 2 o'clock. We'd love for you to join us over there. Hopefully you have the link up where you can see it and journey on over there.
It's in the comments.
It's in the comments. We're going to talk about the same things, but go into a little bit more detail. So anyway, I'm Kent Martz for Explore Scientific. Hope you all have a great week. We'll see you on Monday when we're back for more live broadcasts from snowy and next week, beautiful, sunny Springdale, Arkansas. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for watching.